Hey everybody, John Campea here. Thank you for visiting my movie vlog, and it's time for the weekly weekend box office report, and it has done it again, continuing its impressive run, its record-shattering run in September. You remember last week, it broke all kinds of records, and the hits just keep on coming. It has come in first place once again for the second week in a row at the box office, taking in $60 million, only a 51% drop. That's right around where you'd like your second weekend drop to be. But sometimes when movies have these monstrous opening weekends, you can expect that second week drop off to be a little bit higher, but not in this case. It hovers right in there at the 51% mark. It is chewing up records, September records. It's now made almost $220 million going into just its second week. It's pretty safe to assume that the sequel is coming pretty fast. Coming in second place at the box office this weekend is the new Dylan O'Brien, Michael Keaton kind of action thriller movie, American Assassin. I like this movie. Didn't love it though. I wouldn't recommend people spend their money to go out and see it, but it didn't do bad. Made a little over $14 million, making almost half of its production budget back on just its opening weekend. They have to be happy about that, especially considering that it has just been eating up everything else at the box office. Coming in third place, a disastrous opening weekend for the new Darren Aronofsky film, Mother. Now, this thing also suffered from getting an F cinema score from audiences. It got a 48% audience rating from Rotten Tomatoes, and right now it sits at about a 68% critic rating, but that's falling as well. I thought this movie had all the best intentions in the world, do a real artful piece with metaphor layered on top of metaphor, but if you watch my review for Mother, you'll see the problem with Mother wasn't the fact that it was metaphors. If you've got great metaphors, that's wonderful. The idea, though, is to take those artistic metaphors on top of metaphors on top of metaphors and package them in such a way that they're relayed with character and story. And unfortunately, Mother doesn't do that. It just goes for wacky, abstract visual and art. It's a great idea made by an artist of a filmmaker in Darren Aronofsky, but it just doesn't quite work. The audiences are not responding to it, and we see that with an abysmal $7.5 million opening weekend. Coming in fourth place is the relatively charming little Reese Witherspoon movie, but again, not good enough to warrant you going out and buying a movie ticket for. Home again, although I do love Reese Witherspoon, and I think she's very charming in the movie. There's just not enough there to warrant going out and see it. And rounding out the top five in fifth place is the Ryan Reynolds, Samuel L. Jackson film, The Hitman's Bodyguard. I do like this movie quite a bit. It comes in there making $3.5 million at the box office, and really, it's made now over $70 million at the box office on just a $30 million budget, so it's done pretty well for itself. What's going to be really interesting to see is how does it, this monster of a box office movie, hold up on its third weekend when it opens against some stiffer competition. Most prominently, we got Kingsman: The Golden Circle, the really highly anticipated sequel to Kingsman. It's opening up next week, as well as the new Lego Ninjago movie. That's going to get a lot of the family audience going out. And then the cult horror kind of audience might be interested in checking out Friend Request. So while it has steamrolled up until now, it's curious. I don't think it can hold on to the number one spot for a third week in a row. I think Kingsman: The Golden Circle will do that, but how much of a drop will it have? We'll have to wait and see. But the big question here is, guys, what do you think about this weekend's box office report? Were there any surprises to you? Jump into the comments section below and leave your thoughts. While you're here, why don't you take a second, click on that subscribe button, become a subscriber to my movie vlog channel here, and make sure you follow me on social media simply at John Campea. That'll do it for me, guys. Thanks so much for joining me, and until the next video, bye-bye.